Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And what we're going to look at this time is volume. So we've already had a bite size on area and perimeter. So we're going to look at volume, and we're going to look at cuboid shapes and circular shapes. So don't forget, throughout, you can take screenshots on your tablets, your phones, your laptops, or you can take photographs through your phones or your tablets, however you're watching this, obviously, and use these for your revision purposes. What will happen is there'll be some explanations. I will then set you some exercises, and then we'll have some answers. So again, now going towards the end of the presentation to check the answers first. Or actually, I don't mind if you go and check the answers first, because if you want, that is actually your guide to help you find the right answer. So there's nothing wrong with actually looking at the answers first if you want. Okay. Whereas with perimeter, we add length and length and width up. With area, which is on the little 2, we times length by width. With volume, this is the one with the little 3, you times length times width times height. So again, area, easy to remember, 2, you do 2 things. Volume, the little 3, you do 3 things. So an example we see here, the rectangle, volume length times width times height. We times the 5 by the 4 by the 8, as we see the sum here, which gives us 160 centimetres cubed, and the 3 stands for cubed. And it's important when you're doing volume and you're indicating volume that you put that little 3, just as you do with area and you put the little 2. With volume you put the little 3 to indicate the cubed, and that cubed will stay if it's millimetres, it's metres, it's centimetres, even if it's kilometres. Not that I think we'd be working out volumes in kilometres. Might be for ponds and lakes or something, but there we go. Remember that one. Again, have a digest, have a look at that, and take some time to look at it. Put on pause if you wish. So move. These type of questions do come up, so let's be prepared for it. So we have height and we have radius. Now remember, radius is half the diameter. In some of the questions, they will very nicely give you the radius. Other questions, they will give you the diameter, which is the diameter is the width all the way across. Radius is the half, but you know, from the middle of the circle to the outer of the circle. So sometimes you'll have to work the radius out. So as long as you remember, radius is half the diameter, you will be fine. Now the equation we use looking at the top is this scary volume equals pi r2h. Now we have come across this before, and I say if there is no gaps in between the figures, everything is multiplication. So what we can see here is pi times the radius times height. So we're going to times the radius by itself. Pi will always be 3.14 unless indicated otherwise. Okay. So in this particular instance, the way we work this out is we have our 3.14. We have our radius is 7, so we times that twice. Times that by the height, which is 15, and that will give us our volume. 2,307.9 centimetres cubed. We can break it down. 7 times 7 equals 49. 49 times 3.14 times 15 will still give you the same answer. But I would not expect you to have to do this type of question in a test without a calculator unless it's some form of estimation. So don't panic, you should have a calculator. But always remember to show your workings out. Because again, if something does go wrong with your final answer, if you've actually shown the logical procedure of how to work something out, you can still pick up marks, which is very important to do. Okay, so have a digest, have a look at that. Okay, it's not as complicated as you might initially think, as long as you just remember pi times the radius twice times the height. And they'll always give you the height, and they should always give you the radius. If not, they'll give you the diameter. And as I said, remember, diameter is the radius twice, if you see what I mean, but the radius is half the diameter. So guess what? It's your turn now. So what I want you to do is have a go at these questions. We've got cuboids in this section, and then you've got cylinders in the next section. Just remember a couple of things. 100 millimeters equals a centimeter, 100 centimeters equals a meter. You may need to be able to be aware of that one. Okay, I'll let you look that through. So again, put this on pause, have a go at the questions, take pictures, feel free. And I'm just going to skip onto the other slide now, because once you finish your pause, once you've tried to answer questions, move on to the next slide. So hit your pause button now, and then press play when you're ready to go again. So here we go with the cylinders. And again, remember, 10 millimeters is a centimeter, 100 centimeters in a meter, because you will notice in some cases that they want answers in meters cubed, or they want answers in centimeters cubed. So I'll give you a little bit of heads up. 60 centimeters is 0.6 meters, and 12 millimeters is 1.2 centimeters. And you'll also notice in two of the questions here, they've actually given you diameter, so you will need to work out the radius. Okay, so what I want you to have a go at that again. Put yourself on pause, answer the questions, and I will see you on the next slide. When you press play again with the answers. So here we go. Here are our answers. Hope you did well. If not, what I suggest you do, go back and have a look. Try and backtrack, do yourself a reverse calculation. But now you've got the answers here in front of you. You haven't got the answers straight away. At least you can see what your answer should be, so you know what you're actually working towards. So I'll leave this on pause for a little bit. You can take the answers down, take photographs, screenshots again if you wish. And what I shall do is, once you press play again, I shall see you on the next slide. And these are your answers for your cylinders. So again, what I suggest you do, again, if you haven't quite got the answer, you now have the answers here in front of you, what your answer should be. So backtrack a little bit, play with the figures, and wait and see how you can get to that answer. But there we go. So that's a little bite size into volumes for cylinders and cuboids here, which I hope you have found useful. Be warned, the potential will come up in the test, so make sure it's something that you do actually know about, or at least have a good knowledge as best you can do. Okay, thanks for listening, and meet you again on the next bite-sized presentation.